This tattoo right here says focus in Japanese. I got it a few years ago when I used to really struggle with focus as well. Over the years of trying to battle with procrastination and focus, I've realized this one thing. As soon as I realized this one thing, it stopped me from procrastinating forever. And that one thing is that procrastination isn't a motivation problem, it's a momentum problem. So if you ever felt stuck and unmotivated and avoided the work that you know you need to do, this video right here is going to snap you out of it. So let's talk about how to beat procrastination once and for all. I'm going to give you a mental cheat code that I use every single time that snaps me out of procrastination instantly and gets me to do the things I need to do. And the good news is it's only going to get easier. The more you practice this, the easier it's going to get and the faster you'll snap out of it. So first of all, procrastination is not laziness, it's a dopamine trap. Most people think that they're procrastinating because they're lazy. You're not lazy. You're just addicted to easy dopamine, as is most of the world around you, which is why it's so easy to win against the 90% of people who are distracted. As you know, every time you pick up your phone and scroll through social media, you get a little hit of your dopamine. The problem is, the more you do that, the harder it is to start real work. Trying to focus immediately after you've just been scrolling your phone, it's like trying to start swimming and then stopping to scroll on your social media. And then by that point, when you try to swim again, not only have you lost your momentum, you're also about 10 steps backwards. So now you have to swim even harder to get to the point where you were about 5 minutes ago. And so to break this cycle, it's actually super simple. All you have to do is just hijack your brain's reward system. And so this is the hack that I use every single time to hijack my brain's reward system. And I call it the 3-minute rule. See, the hardest part about doing anything is just starting. That first step is always the hardest. But as you know, once you start, you build momentum and then it becomes a lot easier. So instead of saying I need to work for 3 hours, just put a 3-minute timer on. Literally just grab your phone. This is what I do. I literally grab my phone, put a 3-minute timer on and start. And as soon as I do that, I just leave my phone running and just trick my brain into thinking, okay, all I have to do is just sit down and do whatever I need to do. I know there's a task I have to do, so I pick that task and I say I'm going to do it for 3 minutes. And I tell myself that after I finish the 3-minute timer, I can get up, scroll on social media and do whatever else I need to do that's going to please my brain a little bit more. So I'm just delaying my gratification just by 3 minutes. So then here's what I do. I get into my office or wherever I'm working from. I'd wipe the table, put the laptop down, open up the laptop and just like, if I'm doing emails, if I need to respond to an email, I just open up the email. Once you're in front of your laptop and you're in motion, you actually don't really want to stop. Your brain shifts from avoidance mode to execution mode really, really quickly. Think of the amount of times that you may have potentially gone to the gym and you thought you're going to do 12 reps, but sometimes you just treated yourself to an extra rep because you've created that momentum. Maybe you did an extra set. Maybe you did another exercise. Once you actually go down to the gym, it became way easier to do the exercise. The hardest part was actually getting in the car or leaving the house and going to the gym. Once you're there, sometimes you end up doing way more than you thought you would do. So here's your challenge. And this is the challenge that works for me every single time, as well as all the friends that I've advised to do this as well. Next time you feel stuck, next time you're scrolling on social media and you're just in this deep, dark dopamine machine where you're just scrolling through, maybe you're just sitting on the toilet or just wasting time, maybe you're watching a movie, and you know you need to do something, just lie to yourself and say that you need to do something for just 3 minutes. As soon as you have that thought in your head, grab the timer, put the 3-minute timer on, and have no pressure. There's zero pressure to complete the task. There's zero expectations. I don't want you to trick your brain into thinking I need to do 15 minutes, just 3 minutes, and I guarantee that you will keep going. But before you go, this is really important. Your environment controls your actions, and your actions control your results. And we don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our environment. If you constantly surround yourself with distractions, you will always procrastinate. So if your phone is right here, you're probably going to check it. If your workspace is messy, you're probably going to avoid the workspace, which is why I usually keep my table really clean. And if I have my phone next to me, I keep it upside down, usually with a productivity timer on top of it, or I have like a 45-minute timer right in front of me. So then every time when I reach for my phone, I get reminded that I'm actually here to do work for the next 45 minutes or however long you want to schedule yourself in for. So I'm not saying that you have to put your phone in a completely different room, but if you are going to have your phone in the room, do one of two things. Leave your phone on timer so you can see how much time you've got left before you get to scrolling social media, or put it upside down and get yourself one of those timers, those productivity timers, and just put it on top. And I like that more because that creates another layer of friction before you get to Instagram. You just add another step that makes you second guess whether you should go on Instagram or not. Because then you have to physically pick up the timer, take it off, and you have all that time to realize that you have shit to get on with. So that's the first thing, that's the phone. Second thing, make sure your environment's clean. If you know where you usually have to work, and if you don't, then figure that out first. You have to make your work feel effortless. I always keep this table completely clear, and I have wet wipes. I know this is really weird, but I have wet wipes very close to it. In fact, they're literally right there. So I have these wet wipes that are always next to my desk so I can quickly wipe it. In fact, here's the evidence. The whole point is that you want to make the work feel effortless. You want to be able to just sit down and get straight into work rather than having to arrange too many things before you get down to work. And then the final thing is stack your visual triggers. So if your goals are important to you, put them in front of you as much as possible. You can have your goals as a screensaver on your phone. You can have your goals on a post-it note in front of your bathroom mirror, in front of your bedroom mirror, in front of your cupboard. Have it in as many places as possible. If you open up your wallet all the time, put it in your wallet. Because what you see controls what you do. And there's so many distractions in the world already. Everything is fighting for your attention. I've literally moved to Cyprus to stop myself from distracting and just to lock in and be able to focus on the projects that I need to focus on. Because I know how easy it is for me to get distracted back at home. Luckily, I have an incredibly happy work environment back at home in the gym. My office is right in the center of the gym. My home is 5 minutes away from the gym. And most of the people that I like spending time with are all around the gym. The music is always buzzing, so it's a great place to hang out, but not to focus in. So I knew that in order for me to take my goals seriously, the ones that I've got written down for this year, I need to break away from that environment. Otherwise, I'm never going to achieve the things I need to achieve. But I'm not saying move countries. I'm not saying move to Cyprus or to Bali or whatever it is. I'm just saying curate your environment. At least have one space where you can work from effortlessly and trick your brain into thinking that you're only going to take 3 minutes. Because that's enough to snap you out of the mood you're in now and create like a little game. And it's always quite exciting to me just to see how far am I going to get? Like, what am I going to open up? Which email am I going to start responding to? And because I know there's no pressure, because I know that I can just break away after the 3 minutes and not have to do it, and I feel much better about starting the work. And the last thing I want to share with you is that you are the way you talk to yourself. So you have to shift your identity. If you always say that you're always depressed or you always procrastinate or you're lazy, then you are going to be those things. Because if you look at the scales and you always say that negative thing, you're going to constantly cast a vote towards that person. And then eventually, by the end of the year, you've tipped the scale so far into the person that you don't want to be that it's pretty fucking hard to balance them back out again. And in fact, right now you're probably down here. And the easiest way for you to reset the scales is to start doing the 3-minute timer. For me personally, I now have a routine. I have a routine of doing at least 50 press-ups before I start my work, and then I put the 3-minute timer on. Because I think the most important thing is to change your physiology first. I personally have found that I feel way more motivated, or a better word would be I feel less demotivated, and it feels like less of a drag to do the 3-minute timer when I've done 50 press-ups before. So anyways, don't just watch this video and do nothing. This is the last video you need to watch for the next 5 minutes, so just close the app, get your timer app ready, get down on the floor and do 50 press-ups. As soon as you've done that, 3-minute timer on your phone straight away, and just rush to do the work that you need to do. Do the task that you've been avoiding. Whenever you finish doing that work, just DM me and let me know how you're going. And the most reassuring thought is, the only difference between successful people and not successful people is that successful people take action when they don't feel like taking action. So if you want to cast a vote towards the more successful version of yourself today, just take action, because I know you don't want to. I know you don't want to take action right now, but you're going to anyway. So you're going to close this app, get down on the floor, do some press-ups, put the 3-minute timer on, and do the thing that you've been avoiding.